I'm going to show you here how to do some green screen, but this will also just show you the basics of how to do a project in Premiere. So what we do first is we have to create a new project, and you have to determine where you're going to save it. But first I'm just going to call this, we're going to call this Valentine because it's something we're using as Valentine's Trojan TV. So then I have to choose where this project to be saved. And in this case, the project's media and everything is on the vault in a folder called February. It's very important that when you do a project, you always have everything in the same place. So you can notice I have video clips here, I have the project file, everything, the music, everything has to be in the same place. Okay, so choose that, and once I have that all set, I do create. Okay, so the four things you have in Premiere is you have your project panel, your source panel, your program monitor, and your timeline where you do your editing. So first thing we're going to do is we need to import some media. And so that's done by File, Import. And then I'm just going to bring in one of these clips. Okay, and if I double click it in the project panel, it'll show up in the source panel. And what I have to do is decide what part of it I want to use. Okay. So it looks like the whole thing is pretty good. So I'm just going to drag the whole thing, but I don't need the audio. So instead of grabbing the whole thing here, I'm just going to grab the video clip. I'm going to drag it into my sequence. Okay? And it automatically dropped into video track 1. We'll talk later about how to get to drop in different tracks. Okay, so I've got that. Now what I want to do is I want to put a background underneath her. So I'm going to raise this up to 2. And I'm going to import a background that I got online. So once again, select Media to Import. And, okay, being a little difficult there, forgive me 1 second. So I should just be able to go to File and Import. And there we go. So the graphic I chose is this little picture here. I'm going to bring it in. Okay, and there it is. And that's my background. And so then what I'm going to do is I'm going to drag this and I'm going to put this here. Now it goes longer than I want or need, so I'm going to use my razor blade and I'm going to cut it right here. Okay. Alright. Okay, so now I have a background, but you can't see the background because the green is in the way. So we need to get rid of the green. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my effects, which is down here. I'm going to search for Ultra Key. And then I'm going to take this, I'm going to drag it onto the clip, onto the green screen clip, not the graphic. Okay, so then I have to take that and I have to go to Effect Controls, and you'll see down here it says Ultra Key. I take this sample, sampler eyedropper, and I click on the green and it goes away. Now you notice there's some little bit of black and shadow, so I can clean it up. You know it's not perfect. There's a lot of things you can do, but probably one of the quickest things to do and start with is called pedestal. And when I do pedestal, you just look at the image here and you can see it's going to clean it up. Okay? Alright, now I can also, if I want to move her around a little bit, I can go up to motion and I can do position and I can make her go up and down or whatever it is I need to do. And I am noticing it needs a little bit more cleanup. It's shaded there. So I'm going to try pedestal and see if that cleans up a little bit, but it looks like I'm having a little trouble. So then I just kind of play around some things. I can do matte cleanup, I can try that. There's a lot of different things. I can start with choke and see what that does. Okay, sometimes it helps and sometimes it doesn't. You just have to kind of experiment. And so I'm going to try shadows because I see some shadows in here. See if that helps. Okay, I have to be careful, that took too much away. Okay, I gotta try tolerance a little bit. Okay, that didn't help. Like I said, you just kind of gotta play with it until you get something that works. And the contrast may help it a little bit. Okay, well it looks like, I mean, I would have to play with this a little bit longer to get it dialed in, but to keep this tutorial short, I'm just gonna move on from here. So now if you look at that, there she is. Okay, and she does her thing. Now I want to also put some music here. So I have downloaded some music, and that's located on the vault again, right there. And I bring that in, and here's my music. I can play it, and here it goes. Okay, so I kind of like that, so I'm just going to bring this music down. Well, actually, I'm just going to choose this part of it. So I'm going to make an N, and she doesn't go very long, so I'm going to just go right about here, do an O for out. And then, so that was an I for in, O for out. Then I'm going to just drag this music down here. Now, it went kind of long, so I can just cut it here. Okay, and there we have the music for it. So now it'll play with music. The last thing I need to do is when she waves her wand, I want to do the name of us. Put something up there. And in this case, she is, this is for our Valentine's Trojan TV. So let's say that she was putting sports as the segment. So I would take my text tool, and I would just click up here, and I start by typing the word sports. As you can see, white's not the font to use, so I'm going to double click on it, and I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to play with, make this color probably match the hearts. So if I select it and then go back to my effect controls, you'll see text here, and then I can grab the color, the fill color, and I can take this and grab my eyedropper again and go sample the red, and now it's red. And I could probably, I want to play with the font a little bit and find something that looks a little nicer. This is kind of a Valentine, so that looks nice. And I'm going to make it bold, so I'm going to look up and down here. It usually gives me a place to make it bold. So here it says light. Let's go with bold. Okay, that looks nicer. And I think we're going to make it a little bigger, so as you can see, I can do that. And then once again, I have to move the position, so I'm going to bring it here and move it over here. Okay, and it says sports. Now, I don't want that to come in right away. I want to look at where her wand goes to see how her wand moves. Okay, so her wand moves there, so I'm going to have it start there. And obviously, I want it to end. Okay, and there it is. And I think I'm going to have that text fade in. So I'm going to go here, I'm going to right click, and I'm going to do a fade in, and I don't need, I'm just going to have it stay there, so I'm not going to do a fade out. So now let's do the whole thing. And if you don't hear the music very well, it's because I got the speakers playing behind me, but here's the whole thing. And that's all you can do. And if you wanted it to last longer, what you could do is you could make this a freeze frame. So what you do is you take a picture of it, and I'll just call that, let's see, I want to call it still, and got to put it where I want it to go. So I'm going to browse to where I want it to go. I want it to go in here. Okay, so that's the still frame. Okay, and then what I can do is I can bring that in here. I can import it. Again, I had put that in here, what's called still. Okay, that's that. And then what I can do is I can just put this right here. Okay, and then with that, I can have her hold a little bit longer. Okay, and I'm going to, I don't need anything here, but I do want the music probably to go until she ends. So now watch what happens. Here text plays. Okay, and you can mess around. You could make it last longer by dragging it if you need it. Maybe have the music fade out there. And so let's see how this looks. Okay, so that's basically how you do the green screen, and is how we'll do the transitions for Trojan TV.